Hi everyone, and welcome back to my booktube channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is the booktube newbie tag. I've seen quite a lot of people do this and really I just wanted to get involved, so I thought that I'd give it a go. There's 10 questions. I have got them written down in front of me so I don't have to keep going on my phone to look for them. I just thought it would be easier that way. I've seen quite a lot of people do this as their first video where they're launching their channel. But then I've seen quite a few people get like a few videos out and stuff before they've done it. So I've uploaded 2 so far, so I thought now would be the perfect time to do it. So yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it. Question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? So this has been something that I've wanted to do for actually a really long time. I've been saying to my husband for probably over a year now that I really want to start one. But for me, it's been a confidence thing. This makes me feel like really self-conscious, so I've really held back for such a long time wanting to do it. If you go back to my first video, you'll see that I was actually gifted as I actually won a spotlight gifting competition in January, where I think I was gifted like around 70 times of like books, stickers, bookmarks, that kind of thing. I actually won that in one of the book groups that I'm in on Facebook. But when I won that and I started getting everything like delivered, I thought to myself, this would be the perfect first video to finally get on with it and to start my channel like I've wanted to do for such a long time. So that gave me the courage that I needed to push forward and to actually film a video. I was really hesitant to upload it. Thankfully I had people cheering me on and telling me to just go for it. So in the end I did. I thought to myself that if I film the video, I don't have to upload it if I don't want to. I can at least film it, see how it goes. If I don't absolutely hate it, then I can upload it. So that's what I did. That was, like I said, that was my first ever video. But other than that, other than wanting to start one for such a long time and just putting it off because of confidence issues, it's mainly just because I want a space for myself. Like, I want my own little thing that I can do. I don't work because I'm my daughter's full-time carer, so I spend a lot of time at home, and when I'm not reading, I'm just doing stuff around the house. Obviously when my kids are at home, I'm looking after them, so I'm cooking, cleaning, tidying, that kind of thing. Reading is the only thing that I have for myself that's like solely mine, and I don't know, I guess you can call it a hobby. It's just a little thing that I wanted to do for myself. A lot of it was pushing myself to prove to myself that I could actually do it, but yeah, I just wanted something that's solely mine, that I can do. This is going to give me, like, I don't want to say a purpose because obviously my kids are my purpose, but it's going to give me something to be excited about and look forward to. And along the way I'm just really hoping to make some new book friends, obviously pick up a lot more book recommendations along the way. I've been watching BookTube for a couple of years now, and yeah, I just wanted to be part of the community as well. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, for me, it was just something that I really wanted to do, and now I've finally pushed myself to do it, and hopefully I can do it and I can stick to it. Question number 2 is, what fun and unique things can you bring to BookTube? With this question, it kind of stumped me a little bit. With no disrespect to any other booktubers or anything like that, but I don't really believe there's anyone out there that's doing anything remarkably unique. I think everyone puts out the same kind of videos, whether it's reading vlogs, whether it's your monthly TBR piles, your monthly wrap-ups, hauls, come book shopping with me, giving book recs, ranking books or tropes and all that kind of thing. I think everyone puts out the same kind of videos, which obviously for me is going to be no different. I'm going to be doing the same kind of videos that everyone else is doing. I think the only really unique thing that people are putting out is their own opinions. Everyone's got a different opinion on stuff. Everyone thinks differently about different books, different tropes, different genres, different authors, everything. Everyone has their own opinion, and I think that's probably the most unique thing that people are bringing, and it's going to be exactly the same for me. Other than opinions, I think it's just, like I say, book recs and stuff like that. I know that along the way from BookTube I've definitely discovered books that I hadn't heard of before, and hopefully I'm going to put out some books that people have never heard of before, but they're actually interested in reading and they do go on to read them. But yeah, I think that's about it really. It's just unique opinions, book recs, that kind of thing. I think video wise it's going to be what every booktuber is doing. But yeah, hopefully I have along the way a little community as well that will stick around to watch. Question number 3 is, what are you most excited for about this channel? For me, making new friends, meeting people along the way, getting even more book recs, hopefully being a part of the community. I'm under no kind of illusion that I'm going to have like thousands and thousands of subscribers. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I'm just excited to just see where this takes me. Like I say, I was really hesitant to post the video, my first video. I nearly didn't, but I pushed through and I did it, and for me that's the most exciting thing of all, that I've even got this channel. But yeah, like I say, it's just something for me, and it gives me something to look forward to a couple of times a week, where I can sit down and I can film a video. Just that kind of thing, just meeting new people, new friends. The channel itself I'm just excited for. But yeah, we shall see where it takes us. I don't think we're going to be huge by any means, but I'm just happy that I've done it. Number 4 is, why do you love reading? Bottom line, because it makes me happy. It's my little escape. It is something that's solely for me. Like, when you become a mum and a wife and other things, your life tends to revolve around everyone else, and reading is the one thing that I have that's my own, that is just for me. And yeah, it makes me unbelievably happy to be able to escape reality and just fall in love with the book that you're reading. Is just my favourite thing. Obviously they're educational as well, you learn stuff along the way as you're reading. But yeah, I think it's the best hobby to have, and it just makes me happy. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? So I've been reading for a really long time. Since I was a young child I've been reading. I actually have my oldest book with me. I'm going to show my age here, but can you see how battered this book is? I've had this book for 25 years. You see how yellow the pages are? So Roald Dahl, his books I absolutely loved, especially like this one, Matilda, The Twits, I loved that one. And then going on from that, Jacqueline Wilson. I don't know how big she is in other countries, but in the UK she's a really big author, and she writes about kind of like her audience is for girls, like early teens I would say, but most of her books tackle like an issue that girls face. So when you get into that age, her books were really helpful. Obviously she wrote books like The Story of Tracy Beaker and stuff like that, which was really big over here, but she tackles loads of different genres, like loads of different subjects, such as having a crush on a teacher, or having a baby at like a young age, best friend falling in love with your older brother, parents with mental health issues, like parents with domestic violence issues, that kind of thing. She puts you like in a place where you learn so much, and like I think her books, there's a book for every girl, like they're really relatable. My parents used to buy me every Christmas. When I was at that age of when her books were like aimed at me for my age, I think I read every single one that she had out at that point. And if I didn't have them of my own, I would, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not rent. I would borrow them from like the school library from my middle school. I'd take them home and I'd read them, then I'd go back and I'd swap it for the next one. What else? I absolutely love Harry Potter, but I didn't actually read them as a child. I only actually read them, was it last year? No, I don't think it was last year. I think I read them the year before for the very first time. Like, I've seen all the films and I love them, but I'd never actually read any of the books. So I read them like 2 years ago now, which I will probably go back to. I'll probably read them every couple of years. Another book that really got me into reading, which was actually one of my, you know when you're in English and you get given a book and you have to watch like the film adaptation and you have to like analyse it for your English lessons, was a book that we read in that, which is Goodnight Mr. Tom. So this is about a boy called William who gets evacuated from his home in London during the Second World War. He goes to stay with someone called Tom, who, obviously, Goodnight Mr. Tom, he isn't overly thrilled about having someone else, but as the story unravels, you see that kind of William has basically been living in poverty, and his mum is like a little bit abusive, kind of. Well, yeah, she's abusive. I don't want to say too much without ruining it. So anyway, he goes to stay with Tom out in the countryside, and he's like a shell of himself. He's really shy. He struggles with, like, he can't read or write. So Tom actually teaches him how to do that. I don't think he's ever actually been to school. I think it's his first time going. And then his mum basically summons him back to London whilst the war is still going on. And then in the end, he ends up back with Tom. And I think she, like, basically just hands him over for good. This is one of the books that I absolutely fell in love with. I still love it to this day. I've reread it quite a few times, and I do actually really enjoy the film adaptation of this book. Usually I'm a little bit hit and miss with them, but the film of this is actually really good, and I would recommend this book to anyone to read. After like my Jacqueline Wilson phase and all that, when I was getting into my early teens, it was very much werewolves, fallen angels, vampires, mystical creatures, that kind of thing. The Hush Hush series with Patch and Nora, absolutely love that. I got gifted the first Hush Hush book in my Spotlight winner, so I need to get the other 3 and then I'll be doing a reread of them. The Shiver series, I can't remember what the author's called. I think her name's Maggie something. Obviously then Twilight as I got older, and then stuff like, I remember reading 50 Shades when that came out, and that was big hyped. So yeah, it's quite a mix there, isn't there? But from a really young age it was like Roald Dahl, Jacqueline Wilson, and then it moved on to like YA kind of books as I was getting into my teens. Number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? I don't really think I've got any questions that I would ask. Obviously I would ask for some kind of advice on having a booktube channel, what kind of advice that they would give along the way, whether that be what kind of videos to put out, how to reach a better audience, that kind of thing. I don't really know. My all-time favourite booktuber is Larry Reads. I think she's absolutely hilarious and I love her. She's just so funny. But yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just ask for some like advice. I don't think I have any like specific questions that I would really like them to answer. I'm just trying to think. No, I think it would just be for their advice on what they, maybe how they got started, and what advice they would give to someone that's just starting out really, and I think that's about it. Question number 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Personally for me, obviously I've mentioned that I'm a mum. I'm a mum of 3. But my 2 oldest both have additional needs. My daughter has a genetic condition and my son is severely autistic. So obviously first and foremost my number 1 priority is my kids. I'm a mum before I'm anything else, and that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. So literally everything that's not my kids comes on the back burner to them. So I think just little things like if they're unwell, like my daughter, she has quite a weak immune system, so she's quite poorly. She can go into hospital for, well, the longest she stayed is a month when she's been poorly, but she can go in roughly a week to 2 weeks is kind of average when she's poorly, because she suffers with her chest and quite often she needs oxygen. So when she does go in, she can be there for a little while. So obviously if she's in hospital, I'm with her. I don't ever leave her there. So for me, obviously if I'm there, I'm not at home filming videos. So there might be a few occasions where I don't have the time to sit down and film a video for a couple of weeks, or I'm just not physically able to do it because I'm just not here. So that will be one of the biggest challenges. Obviously half terms as well when the kids are off. Obviously I wouldn't put them on camera, so I can't film around them, and my kids are extremely loud anyway, so it's not like I'd be able to sit and film a video with them here. So I think that really, I think it's timing. Obviously, like I say, it's my kids, if they're unwell, if they're here, they're not at school, that kind of thing, I won't be sat here filming. So there's that. And just, I think that's about it really. I think the other thing for me is networking. Like I don't really know how to broadcast my channel because I want to keep it separate from my private life. Like I could post it onto my Facebook profile, but I don't want my other friends and like people I went to school with and family members that I'm not that close to, I don't want it broadcast to them. Like I'm not embarrassed by doing this or anything like that, but I want it to be mine. I don't want it mixed in with my own private life. I want it separate. So I think that's another thing. I don't really know how to broadcast it. I mean, I have got like a book account on Instagram and I have got like a book talk account, but then again people from my personal life that are close to me are on there as well. So finding a way to network and to get my channel seen is going to be a big challenge for me as well, but hopefully I can figure something out along the way and we'll just see how it goes. Question 8, when did you start reading? Again, going back to question 5, was it? A really long time ago. I can't remember how old I would have been. probably reading for like my own enjoyment, probably about 7 or 8. Obviously when you're in first school and you bring the different books home from school that you used to learn to read, they would have been like the first kind of books that I read at that young age. But for my own enjoyment, probably about 7 or 8. Obviously along the way I've had periods of time where I've completely stopped reading and I don't read at all during that time frame. Very much obviously when my oldest daughter was born, when you have newborns and stuff like that, you just don't really have time to sit back and read. Your free time, you're just too tired to do anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say around like 7, 8 for my own enjoyment. I'm not 100% sure, but if you were to ask like my parents or grandparents, they will say that growing up I always had a book in my hand kind of thing. I've always loved it. I think I used to be more into like reading than sitting and watching films as well when I was younger, and I'm still the same now, but I don't know, quite a long time I would say. I don't want to reveal my age, but so I've probably been reading on and off for around 25 years for my own enjoyment. Question number 9 is, where do you read? I will literally read anywhere and everywhere that I can. This chair, we're going to ignore the fact that it's got a Christmas blanket on it, by the way. It's got golden retrievers on and it matches my boy Chansey, so it stays on. This chair swivels and it rocks and it reclines, so this is actually a really comfy seat to curl up in with a blanket and a book and just chill here. I read on my sofa as well, like fully reclined. I do read in bed, but some nights I'm so tired that when I get into bed I scroll through my phone for 10 minutes, I'll put that down, I'll close my eyes and I'm gone, so I don't really have the energy to read. Other nights I will sit in bed and I will read probably sometimes just like one chapter to help me feel even more tired, to drop off. I read in the car when my husband's driving, if we're going somewhere that's like just not 10 minutes down the road, like if I'm travelling to the children's hospital that's in the next town over, or if we're travelling, I don't know, to like a shopping centre that's not in our town kind of thing. Whilst he's driving I will sit and read, and that is the only time that I can read with music on in the background, because he will have his music playing, and that's the only time I can read with music. Otherwise I like silence. What else? I will read when I'm like cooking. If it's a big meal like a Sunday roast or something that's time consuming, I will read on, well, I'll only read then if I'm reading a Kindle book, because then I haven't got to hold it. So I do like that. Sometimes when I'm eating like my tea, if I'm eating after my children have eaten, then I will sit and read like my Kindle then. But yeah, pretty much like with my youngest that I do the school run for as well, I get there like a little bit early because I like to have a parking space early, so I will just sit in my car and read until I go and get her. Yeah, that's about it. Sometimes in the bath. But yeah, I think that's it. I will literally read anywhere. I do take a book out with me when I'm out and about sometimes, just in case I'm in that position where I do have a bit of time to sit and read. Like if I've got a bit of free time, then I do usually have a book with me. But yeah, there's nothing quite like reading in the comfort of your own home though. So that is probably my favourite place to read, is when I'm at home, snuggled up under a blanket in either one of the chairs. Question number 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? Mainly fiction. Non-fiction I don't really read. I have in the past. I've read like a couple of autobiographies, and I do like the real life situations of things that are touched on upon, like abuse and death and that kind of thing, where they're true life but like their names have been changed and stuff like that. I do quite like them books, but again, I haven't picked one of them up in absolutely years. So I do mainly read fiction. Romance is my number one, that's the main thing that I read. Fantasy, like I said in my two previous videos, I'm just starting to get into, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Psychological thrillers I do enjoy, but I have a bit of a hit and miss relationship with them. Like I said, I do really enjoy them, but if I figure out the twist within like halfway of being in the book or earlier, that's immediately going to make me give it a lower star rating, because obviously I want it to be like a shock to me, because that's the whole point. But if I figure it out, then that kind of just makes me feel a bit meh, kind of towards the book. I don't read horror. I'm not against reading horror, but it's finding a book that I'm actually willing to go out and buy, that I actually think I will sit down and read. Although I have seen a couple of books by, I think Grady Hendrix is his name, that I would like to read, and I don't know if they're full horror, but I think they touch on horror. So there's a couple there that I would like to read, so I might pick them up. I read a lot of smut. I absolutely love dark romance. Haunting Adeline, they're my favourite books. Like mafia books, I love them. Not really into crime. I don't really know if I'm into sci-fi. I don't really think I've ever given it a chance. But yeah, mainly romance, fantasy, dark romance, smut, psychological thrillers. They're the main kind of books that I read. What else? My favourite tropes are grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers. Don't know what else. So that's it really. I've answered all 10 questions. I might see further down the line if there's a different tag where it asks different questions that I can do again. I actually quite enjoyed doing this. It's definitely put me on the spot as well, because like I say, I didn't really think about what I wanted to say before sitting down to filming this. I just thought I'd leave it up to chance and see what I came up with each question, which is very much unlike me, but I actually think it turned out okay. If you have stuck around and watched the whole video, I do really appreciate it. I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, only if you want to, obviously. But yeah, hopefully I will see some of you further along the way for the rest of this booktube journey, to see where it takes us. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.